The purpose of this test was to determine whether or not the inclusion of an innovative friction extraction method as a tool for procedural generation of vegetation has any significant impact on the behavioral realism regarding the growth and distribution of the generated vegetation. We started by researching the state-of-the-art examples of innovative methods for achieving realistic-looking video games and virtual vegetation in general. Being fascinated with the procedural generation and the vast implementation possibilities that it offers, we then defined our initial problem statement. How can a method for creating procedurally generated vegetation be developed, which can be applied to virtual environments that have not been preconditioned for the usage of procedural generation tools? We then proceeded by researching the behavior of different climbing plants and the reasons behind the way of how they grow and adapt to their environment. Furthermore, we researched several interesting approaches to procedural generation, outlining their positives and biases. The chosen basis for implementation of this project was L-Systems. Finally, we had to gain understanding of how realism is perceived, as it was chosen for a measured variable in our final problem statement. Thus, procedurally generated vegetation in the form of climbing plants developed for non-preconditioned environments with particle systems, L-Systems algorithm, and innovative friction extraction method provide a higher level of realism in terms of climbing plant growth compared to the same procedural algorithm without the friction extraction. The conducted test was aimed at collecting both qualitative and quantitative data. The results from the qualitative part of the test showed that the participants did not focus enough on the generated vegetation, which was also supported further by several biases stemming from potential design flaws. The most important bias created by the test setting was the fact that the game created to simulate real-world conditions consumed all of the attention of the test participants, making it impossible for any constructive feedback regarding the vegetation to be generated. Statistical analysis was performed on the quantitative data produced from the test. The results showed that no difference between the groups can be found that is significant enough. However, from this we can extract the conclusion that small changes to the realism of background elements in video games are not noticeable enough, meaning taking the extra effort to design and implement them is not beneficial to the overall experience of the player.